Stage 7. And here's the start. You have almost enough coins to rank up. And we also get 30 those pots. And then I write a letter for some 3x coupons. And then dailies. I got a nice drop in Hellux today. Then I did some tapping and cubing to make it like better than what I had. And then I clear my RP so I can get some pet snacks because I hate buffing my skills. Luckily this hat pet from the Terribly came with the auto buff. And then I use coupons on Cadena because why not? I was still low on IED, so I decided to put in some IED in my temp stats. And then for my last 0 to 100, I decided to do arc because, well, I just don't like trading arc. And the link skill's pretty good. Pretty much when you're in combat, you stack damage stacks. It is pretty annoying, but it is one of those classes where you have to do the full storyline to like leave. The first skill we have is Spectre State, which we cannot use right now. Ominous Nightmare is not really good for Flora mode, but it is a attacking skill. This is mostly used for Spectre mode, which we unlock later on. Basic Chart Drive is your main mobby skill in Flora form. This cannot be used in Spectre form. Right click your spell bullets so it sends out little balls. And Mystic Leap is your flash jump. In second job, we have Massive Corruption. This lets us switch between Spectre and Flora. In Spectre mode, our Ominous Nightmare turns into the Ominous Dream. You can also spam it. There's a lot of other changes too in Spectre form, which I'll get to later. And then we unlock our next drive skill, which is Scarlet. Let me go back a little bit. So Arc has 4 drives, which it'll unlock eventually. Each drive gives a buff. The first one was Basic Charge Drive, which gave knockback resist. Scarlet gives you attack and crit rate. Ghost Drive gives you attack speed and avoidability. And lastly, Abyss. Abyss gives you damage, boss damage, and IED. More on that later. So as I mentioned, Scarlet does give you attack and crit rate. So you don't actually need max crit on Arc. So Scarlet does this like rush skill. It can also go through Lotus lasers. Also in Spectre form this changes. Next skill is Unstoppable Impulse. This is a diagonal dash in any direction, either up or down also. You can also use it twice in a row. Next skill is Impending Death. This is a toggle. Make sure this is always on, because this is like half your damage. And don't forget your booster. You want to make sure you have your spell bullets on auto. So that way the boss set out automatically. When you use Scarlet Drive and hits an enemy, it'll give you the Scarlet buff. Same goes for the future drives. You can mob in either form. I prefer the spectre form and mobbing and bossing, but you don't want to overgauge, otherwise you'll be in a deficit where you can't recover the gauge for a while. So make sure you switch back when the screen starts flashing. If you did switch back fast enough, then your gauge will be black. It would take a while for it to even charge up again. Fun fact, Arc can float. You can do this by pressing jump and then down and jump. After you see the flying animation, you can move around. And third job, we have Vivid Nightmare, which is an upgraded version of our Ominous. Our next draft skill is Gust Drive. This skill also attacks enemies. In Spectre form, this changes into Insatiable Hunger. It's like a forward dash skill. It also arches, so you can grab a little bit of height too if you time it right. Next up is Vengeful Hate, so basically just auto this. I click it to turn on auto, and it'll just basically turn some of these straggling balls into swords. It'll just make training a lot easier. And lastly, we have Gripping Terror, which is a key down iframe. You're an iframe as long as you hold this down. You will also switch to Spectre form right afterwards, so be wary. Last Nightmare is the upgraded version of Vivid Nightmare. Our last charge skill is Abyssal. Next up is Blissful Restraint. This is your self-bind. Just be careful because you do rush forward before you bind the enemy or boss. It's a decent summon for training. I'm not gonna explain Arc, but Battle Frenzy is something you get when you animation cancel. This is a training guide, not a bossing guide. But if you wanna know, I can try to explain in a later video. So I had enough coins to make up our Legion, and I put in another character. The Dreamcatcher also reset today, and I've got a lot of growth pots. I definitely want to use it on Ho Young. Most people know Ho Young's link skill for the training part. We should do more damage to monsters at full health. But also it gets IED, which I also need. So this is good for my meals and my main. Also it gives luck on Legion. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know how to play this class. I'll explain the skills, but I don't know the gauge. Also, I highly recommend you do the storyline, because that's how you unlock your Nimbus or your flying skill. First skill you have is Humanity as the Will fan. Basically always use this skill. This for flight is your flash jump. Again, I'm not gonna pretend I know how to play this class, but yeah, you suck enemies and you throw them back. You can still engage, but it also fills something up, I think. I did train outside, but again, just do a storyline, trust me. You have like no vertical if you don't have the Nimbus skill. I finished Cold Beach and it was so bad. So I did go back and do the storyline. Again, trust me, do the storyline. It wasn't even that bad. It was like 20 minutes. So here's our Nimbus. You can either use a keybind for it to float, or like I do, I just press jump and hold down jump so I can fly. Whoops. I got too caught up on a freaking Nimbus. I forgot to explain second job. I'm not gonna go back and edit that, but anyways. First we have Ground Shattering Wave. It's a pretty long range attack. You can also hold down direction while using it and you'll dash towards that direction. I've also seen some people use like ban and this in a macro. Which I don't know. Next up we have Talisman Clone. So this has out like clones to attack random spots in the map. I think it's one of the best bomb skills in the game. Then you have your booster. And a passive for Nimbus, which lets you fly longer and faster. For third job, you have Iron Fan Gale, which has a pretty big AoE. If you press forward while using the skill, you'll bounce on the enemy. Next up is Stone Tremor. Basically same as the other skill, but you attack both ways. And you can also hold down either left or right to go to that direction too. Next up is Seeking Ghost Flame, which summons the ghost and attacks nearby enemies. Next up is Degeneration, which I think is a bossing skill because it takes so much to charge up. And it gets an ID debuff and does boss damage, so don't use it in training, I guess. Got to record myself farming 200, but anyways. My training spots are also the same. And for this job, we have consuming flames. This is a very high vertical above you. Next is this skill, which is a pretty good skill. 1,000-ton stone. You have to be in the air to use this, but you can kind of spam this. Next up is Butterfly Dream, where you summon butterflies to attack with you. Next up is Star Vortex. It summons a very long summon, pretty big AoE too. Last skill is Warp Gate, where you set on a portal, and at any time you can press this skill again and go back to where your gate is. It's the start of day 8, and I do my dailies as usual. I've got these EXP coupons for my future meal training. I did my daily check-in and got even more coupons. And it gets better. I get a Mega Burn today too. I forgot to claim these yesterday once I hit 240, but I distributed my symbols evenly. And I got even more symbols from the Spookyman Diary. And then my weekly party got 1,000 tickets. For day 8, I decided to do a lynn. And it's pretty strong and fun to train, also very easy, beginner friendly, and it's cute. The lead skill is old BT, which gives you boss and crit rate. Also, the Legion piece is IED, but everything I need for my main, and pretty good for my meals too. And yes, you do have to do the whole storyline, and it is pretty lengthy, but it's not too bad, just a lot of cutscenes. In the beginner tab, you have focus, which you can target through different party members to give different buffs to. Since this is solo, this is kinda irrelevant and I can't really show it. In first job, we have strike, which is our bear attack. This upgrades as we job advance. This is your main skill for mobbing and bossing. The next skill we have is focus heal. This recovers whoever is targeted. And flash jump. When you reach level 30, it doesn't tell you where to go. You have to walk all the way over here. In second job, we get a better version of strike. Next skill is sweep, which is one of the best movement skills in the whole game, in my opinion. You can get up to 5 charges, and you can dash pretty fast, like instantly. You can also flash jump after sweeping. Next skill is peck. This also upgrades as you job advance. And I'm not kidding you, this is like after damage. I'm sure this is almost on. This will attack when you attack. And you get a passive booster too. You also want the bird passive so you get better movement and crit rate. And third job, it doesn't really tell you, but in this map, after you kill the brambles, you go through this hidden portal in the bottom middle. Strike again. Next skill for third job is Earth's Pulverization, which is the... oh, it's like a fire fart. It does pretty good dot damage. And we have a better version of Peck. Support Flight is a party skill. You TP to the target. Big Attack is your other toggle. This will summon the wolf occasionally when you attack. Nature's Providence is a party-wide ID buff. You want to keep this on during training, which I'll explain next job. And then we have Purify, which solely cleanses your statuses. In first job, we have Strike again, but also this Roar. It does a huge AoE attack, also in front and above you. Peck and Strike upgrades. And we have Predator's Blow, which is a debuff. You want to constantly cast this on the boss. You do more damage to enemies that are debuffed. Next skill is Whirlwind. It does damage to enemies in front of you, but you can also hold it down to go diagonally behind and above you. Next skill is Support Flight. So this can be really fun or trolly. It TPs party members to you. I've used it to TP my friends to Dragon Breath for fun, or save them in Will. Next skill is Mother Nature's Touch. This heals everyone and removes the statuses. Next one is a passive. This gives your target better healing as well as attack and magic attack. You can also use it on yourself. Remember this skill? Yeah, so the ID buff. This is a passive for that. It gives you more drop rate. 10% at max. I redid my hypers because I have too much crit. And we're at 85 IED. And then I queued because I was bored. And then I did my weeklies again to test out my new gains. And I tried Hellux without any G skills. I decided I would fully buff all my weeklies. So I bought some VIP. And then we try Lotus again. Slowly making gains before Lotus. I went to the event shop and bought some things to have. Just to make my inventory cleaner. Also, I bought all the character slots. Also, I decided to fully buff for this Lotus fight. Also, I joined LOL. Shout outs to Hexy. Yeah, I have some IED and the guild skills, so this helped a lot. And you could say within the past 2 days, I made a ton of gains, and it definitely showed. So I went from a 30-minute Lotus fight to a 10-minute Lotus fight, which is mind-blowing. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try Damien. Also, I got 3 cores in Lotus. Day 9. It's been a long day. But yeah, started off with dailies as usual. It was almost Sunday, and I wanted to do the CRAPyard DWT before the reset. I'm gonna set on 17 for now, and eventually maybe like 21 or 22 fodder into 21 Absolab in the future until Arcanes. I get gloves first because there's no really good gloves at the moment. The timer cape I can keep for a while, and same thing with shoes. At least with gloves I can keep for crit and stat. I also have these black flames, which I don't want it to flame right now. Maybe until I get more gear I can keep, or more Absols. And then with the free tickets, I almost leveled. I was okay on IED, especially with the VIP and guild skills, so I need more damage to kill bosses faster. I decided to do a Demon Slayer for the boss damage. For first job, we have Demon Lash. You use the skill off burst, also it gives you some fury. And that's your booster. Don't use the yellow skill. It's like a job. Barb Lash is a better Demon Lash. Dark Thrust is a rush skill. Chaos Lock TPs you to a random nearby target. Demon Lash Arc is a better version of Demon Lash. Every Storm is a iframe with 30-second cooldown, and it heals you. And we have Judgment, which is your next mobby skill. Demon Thrash is your final upgrade of Demon Lash. Demon Cry has a big AoE. Most people use it for drop rate. It is also a boss debuff. Demon Impact, use this off burst. Infernal Concussion, this is your next mobby skill. Normally people pair this with Chaos Lock. So Chaos Lock to go onto a random target and then you use Infernal Concussion. And repeat. Binding Darkness is your soft bind. Dark Metamorphosis is an iframe. It also does damage to enemies nearby you. I hit 160 pretty fast, but I've got so many growth pots that I don't know what to do with them, so I started blocking random meals to like 170 or close to it. I decided to do my sellas prees and maybe hit 245. So hit 245, upgrade my rank, and then play some Tetris. And then moonbridge prees. After that was done, I unlocked more dailies, which means more EXP. And then I tried catching for fun. And then I did my slime prees and, well, yeah. think it's a bit out of order, but the same day I tried Hellux, and oh, I cleared. Got something new this time again with episode 3. This took a lot of effort again, but hopefully you like it. It was a lot of pain this episode, but you know, I think it went pretty well. A lot of gains in 3 more days. I've been busy, so I haven't been able to upload that much with shining and everything, but you know, I have been recording every day. It just editing takes so much time. But hopefully you guys will still enjoy the series. Once again, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you're still interested in the series, if you're excited about it, and try to predict what's coming up in the next couple episodes. I'll do my best to edit and get them out ASAP, but yeah. See you soon.